Have you ever had trouble trying to explain to a real estate agent as a buyer what you're looking for in your next home? Have you ever felt overwhelmed at the thought of trying to describe what the perfect house looks like for you? Well, you're not alone. A lot of people go through this. Stay tuned to the remainder of this podcast, and I'll let you know how you can help to overcome that. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Realty Podcast with Tony Griffin, Keller Williams 1, Greensboro, North Carolina, Kim Mathis and Associates. And today I've titled this podcast Making a List, Checking It Twice. One thing that I want you to keep in mind as a buyer in today's market, before we get too deep into determining what are your pros and cons and what you want out of a home. One thing to keep in mind is as interest rates will still continue to go up into the near future, make sure to avoid stretching your budget beyond what is comfortable. As tempting as it may be, with the rates still going up, the last thing you want to do is overextend yourself to get extras in a home that may not be as important to you once you're moved in as you thought they'd be before you actually signed the contract. All right. So there are two huge steps when you are a home buyer and when you are working towards creating a list of must haves. The very first step is to get pre approved. Without a pre approval or a pre qualification, it's going to be very difficult to determine what should be in your must haves, nice to haves, and everything like that because you don't really know what your budget should be. Budget is key because what you think may be unattainable may actually still fit within your budget. Likewise, you may be thinking about some things that would be considered a must have that, frankly, just don't fit inside of your available budget right now. So it's really important to have that perspective of what you can afford, what you're willing to take on as far as projects go, and what you're willing to say maybe on the next one, maybe the next house. Keep in mind, especially if you're a first time home buyer or second time home buyer, this may not be the home you live in for the remainder of your life. Um, Average is about 10 to 15 years of owning a home. So if you're buying this first home and you're in your late 20s or early 30s, you're going to see most likely at least two more homes. Don't feel like you have to get absolutely every feature and option in the first home. Because in most instances, you may be setting yourself up for a bit of a disappointment. So, step one, get pre approved, know your budget, know what the dollars look like. Step two, prioritize your home features. And I've broken this up into three different categories when prioritizing. You've got your must haves, your nice to haves, and what we would consider something in your dream state or in your perfect world. So, must haves. These should be automatic disqualifiers if the home does not have these features. For instance, if you absolutely need three bedrooms, if you absolutely need two full bathrooms, then you should be discounting any home that doesn't have either three bedrooms or the ability to get three bedrooms, or if you only have one full bathroom and that's it, the house should probably be disqualified. Other things that you can put in here as far as must haves. Maybe you really want to be inside the city center, you want to be downtown. Maybe you want to be somewhere more rural or in an ideal school zone. Um, Maybe there's a certain distance that you want to be from work or from medical facilities or from relatives. Find that out and map that as your ideal, like your Goldilocks zone. The main focus of this is to try to weed out some things that would be automatic disqualifiers when you're searching for a home. You don't want to go through pages and pages of homes that don't fit your needs only to get frustrated. So, first things, Must-haves. Go ahead and put down exactly what those are. It shouldn't be a long list. Your must-haves shouldn't be 15 or 20 items. Try to narrow down your must-haves to about 5 things. 5 things that would make or break the sale for you. Next up would be your nice to haves. Now, these are going to be some things that would be a massive plus if they were there, but it's not going to stop you from buying the home if it doesn't have it. A great example of this would be maybe you would like to have a fenced in backyard, but ideally you just want to have a backyard. Perfect example. You can put a fence in afterwards. Um, Maybe it is to have an updated primary bathroom or an updated kitchen. And those can be very, very nice to have. But maybe you got to settle for one or the other depending on your budget. And you can look to make those updates as you've lived in the home for a little bit of time instead of automatically disqualifying that home as a potential option. Maybe it's something as simple as a shed or some sort of outdoor storage facility that's not directly connected to the home. Those can be great to have, but it's not going to set you back for years and years if you have to go get one after you've moved into the house. So that's what you would consider your nice to haves. And then dream state, or in a perfect world. So in an ideal perfect world situation, what would this home have that would just really be more like a wow factor for you? So maybe you really, really love those barn style doors on the rolling hinge for the primary bathroom. Maybe you've always wanted a farm style sink or bay windows in the living room. Maybe you've always wanted to have a detached workshop in the backyard or a she shed. Or maybe you've always wanted to have a deck or a patio for entertaining, something along those lines. Um, those can be those wow factor type things to really, hone in and separate when you've got it down to maybe just one or two different homes that you're looking at and determining which one is going to be best for you. Now, uh, in the dream state, keep in mind too, this is why you've set your budget. Maybe in your dream state, you'd love to see a walk in closet or his and hers vanities in the primary bathroom, but in your budget, it doesn't actually fit. That's okay. And that's going to happen from time to time. Keep these dream state items in mind, and maybe you can look towards that in home number two. Or maybe this is a home that needs some updating and needs a little bit of love, and you can create that as you live in the home with updating, with doing some renovations and remodeling. Also, with must haves, nice to haves, and dream states, keep in mind that it's okay for these things to change as you're going through homes. It is not uncommon at all to walk in home number one with the idea of, okay, I need 3 bedrooms, I need 2.5 baths, it's got to be on 2 levels, need at least a half an acre, 2 car garage, big driveway. You walk into that first home and you're like, you know what? I really don't like the idea of having all these steps to get to my bedroom every day. Or I don't really need a 2 car garage when I've got 2 small cars and one can easily fit in the driveway. Maybe you realize that that big half acre lot that you really, really wanted is going to be a bit of a pain to mow. These are situations where it's okay to make adjustments as you start seeing homes, because it's one thing to see everything online. It is a whole nother animal to actually start seeing homes in person and feeling homes and going through them and seeing what kind of flows there are. Maybe you'll determine that you would prefer to have your primary bathroom on the or bedroom on the main level. Maybe you'll find out that, while it would have been nice to have a fence, it's actually pretty nice not having a fence and just being surrounded by some more wooded area. Things like that can change. Now, your must haves in most instances won't make massive or drastic changes over time, especially if you're being very, very brutally honest with yourself about what is needed. Like, for instance, I would not put updated kitchen appliances as a must have unless you have a budget planned out for either a home that's been remodeled or a brand new home or something along those lines. If you have a bit of a smaller budget, it's okay to not have that as a must have. However, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, size of the home, location, those are things that in most instances are relatively non-negotiable. You might decide to stretch out the distance from work or from school or from relatives, but having that general focus in mind is going to really help you to make sure that you are on track with where you want to be and what you want to live in. All right. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Have a happy and safe and merry holiday season. If you need any help making your list and checking it twice, if you need any help with looking at those homes and you happen to be inside the Greensboro, North Carolina area, please click the link below. I would love to talk to you, work with you, and help you find what that ideal home looks like. I look forward to talking to you guys next time and have a great week.